Regulate, regulator. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Hey, Kaya. Hey, Ash. What is how you doing? That's it. Hey, 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 what's up, y'all? It is your girl, Misbehaving. And the name of the channel is Misbehaving is Fun, where I talk about real people, real problems, and real drama. Today is Saturday, May 17th. The time is 4:35 p.m. here in California, and it's 7:35 on the East Coast. It might be a minute fast. You know, always got to stay 60 seconds ahead of the devil. So, how is everybody doing today? How is everybody doing today? I was planning on going live yesterday, but it seemed like the devil was busy, but I wasn't letting him nor her disrupt my flow. I just had to decompress and just have a good day. So, the title of this video is Don't Give Up, Protect Your Peace. Darkness hates individuality and independent thinking. Hashtag humanity, hashtag kindness, hashtag be yourself. Be yourself. Oh, thank you for saying that, Kai. I always forget to tell people to do that. Kaya says, welcome everyone. Please like the video on your way in. Y'all know over here on this channel, I'm always keep it real with you. I'm a real person. I talk about real life, and I recognize that we all go through things. I do have my son, and I am his primary caregiver, as well as protector and nurturer. So, on occasion, you may hear him in the background. I may have to mute the mic if I need to assist him. But, honey, I will not silence my son because he matters too. So, anyway, it's not going to be sad or anything today, just educational. Things that, make you think, make you question things. You know, we all have been indoctrinated in some form of fashion in life. What you say, Lodge? Love that intro. Makes me want to move. Yes, I love that song as well. I was in here dancing myself. dancing myself. You know, we have all been indoctrinated uh, our entire life, even from birth. And I tend to find myself, some things I say out loud, some things I keep to myself. But even if you are outside or you're interacting with people, you can see that things just don't aren't what they appear to be. Let's put it like that. Things are not what they appear to be. In the medical community, there has been this long debate about which organ is more important. Is it the brain? Is it the heart? Is it the lungs? I say all three organs are important because, yes, in order for us to breathe, we need our lungs. And the heart does the most work because it's constantly pumping, because it's pumping the blood throughout your entire body. When a person becomes dehydrated and there's not enough fluid volume in your body, the body, what it will do is what we call shunt. Yeah. It will take the blood and redirect it to the most important extremities. So it's going to try to protect the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, and you'll definitely get blood to the brain. And the thing with the brain, I think the brain is the strongest and the most important because if the brain stops functioning, the brain, everything else in the body cease to operate without that control from the brain. There are a lot of things in life where people attempt to break your brain. As long as you have your wherewithal, your mental capacity, you will be all right. If you are of sound mind, you can clearly think. And patience. Patience. How many of you have heard that even when you were children? Patience is a virtue. Don't be in a rush. I remember as a child being hearing that saying, don't be in a rush to grow up. So when I encounter young people, I met a young man over at the grocery store the other day. He was 18. I have this bad habit of anytime when I'm under stress, and it's people creating the stress. I have to have something sweet to eat. And I'm not going to say what it is that I eat because they are not paying me to advertise their product. And therefore, you will not get a free endorsement from me. But I have to have something sweet. My daughter was kind enough. She purchased some items for me and I went to the store. The young man came out and he had the most beautiful smile, chiseled cheek and everything. And I told him, I said, "You have a beautiful smile." Because when he came out, he was smiling. So clearly he's happy, with his job, happy in life. And from his smile, you would assume that he doesn't have a care in the world. But he had such a beautiful, warm, and it was a welcoming smile because a lot of people smile, but they hide mischievousness behind it. It's inauthentic, it's not sincere. But I told the young man he had a beautiful smile. And he told me, "Thank you." He said, "Nobody's ever told me that in my 18 years of living." I said, "They haven't?" He said, "No." I said, "You have a beautiful smile." So I go ahead and I don't know. I just went ahead and gave him a tip. I said, I'm certain my daughter left you a tip. Did she not?" He said, "Well, he wasn't able to tell if a tip had been left." I said, "Well, hold on, let me give you something." And so I gave him the money, but before I gave him the money, I said a little prayer and I wanted the money to be amplified 10 times fold. And he said, "Thank you. Thank you very much. And then he shared with me how he's being raised by a single mother. He said he works to help her pay bills. And I said, okay. And I said, good. And I told him, I said, you can be anything in this world that you want to be. I said, don't be in a rush to grow up too fast. Enjoy life while you're still young, because once you're an adult, um, you have to do it all yourself. And I said, and always be an independent thinker. Make decisions based off how you feel, what you believe in. Don't be a follower, be a leader. And he told me, thank you for that advice. Yes, son. Uh, no, you can't have that microphone. Use your headphones. Do you want this? No, you can't have that because I'm doing a video right now. So you can't have that, okay? So get your headphones. But I know the young man, um, he may listen and come across my video. And for him and others like him, don't give up. The problem isn't you, the problem is society. You were uniquely created to be great, lead, teach, learn, and inspire everyone you encounter. We have all been indoctrinated in some form or fashion from birth throughout life. Choices and decisions we've made were based off outside influences, whether that be family, friends, foes, employers, peers, entertainers, politicians, television, and social media. Every decision has a consequence, and every action has a reaction. Donnie McClurkin said it best: we fall down, but we get up. For a saint is just a sinner who fell down, but we can't stay there. I believe that there's nothing wrong with you. You're a person that desires peace and don't derive pleasure from seeing another person hurt. Peace is a choice. I desire peace, so I seek peaceful resolutions to conflict. But I'm never afraid to go to war, and I'll protect my family by any means necessary. Never stop asking questions if something doesn't make sense to you. Don't believe anything told to you without proof. Never be afraid to be alone and do your research. Never forget history or you're doomed to repeat it. People in power hate individuals who ask questions, formulate their own opinion, promote kindness, and embody integrity. Peace is a choice. Power belongs to the people, and protection is deserved to the elderly, disabled people, children, and the poor. We all make choices in life, some good, some bad. But you can't harp over the bad decisions you make as long as that decision was yours. There's nothing wrong with isolation. So many people like to make the word or the act itself. One moment, you guys. Yes, baby. Show me. No, you can't have this. You have your headphones. No, you have your own phone. Your phone is right there. Here, hand me your headphones. Let me see if your headphones are working. Yeah. 1 second, you all. I have to be a mother real quick. Let me see, babe. Let me see. Let me see your phone. Hand me your phone. Let mom help you. This is the wrong phone. That's why you can't hear anything. That's the wrong phone. That's why you can't hear anything. Okay. So let's see. Let's take this off. Uh, let's put this here, and it looks like you're back online. Okay, there you go. Here, there you go. All right, you guys. I apologize for that. What'd you say, Lodge? You gave the young man great advice. He will reflect on your input throughout his life. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Every day when I see something or I experience something, I want to share it and talk about it. But then I just choose not to. What's wrong? I choose not to. Oh, it wants me to sign in. Oh, it wants me to sign in. Here, there you go. My son is so particular in the things that he does. But I remember, you know how the kids when you're little, I don't know. I guess I was one of those kids when I was younger that would always ask questions, like wanting to know why. I don't remember that part, but I do remember I was one of those little kids always trying to spell words. And I can't recall how old I was. I don't know. I may have been in kindergarten or something. Isn't it interesting how you can remember certain scenes from your life or, from your childhood and other things you cannot remember? But that's the brain for you. I can't remember how old I was. I don't even know if I was in kindergarten, but I remember sitting in the back of my grandmother's car. My grandmother was driving in the front. And this is at a time when seat belts weren't mandatory. So we were just riding around without seat belts in the car. And I remember I would just call out letters and ask my grandmother, Grandma, what does that spell? And sometimes the letters I would call on, they spelled words, and other times they did not. But who knows? My grandmother probably was being like so many other grandmothers that she just entertained me and may have just called off a word. I don't know, but I used to be one of those little kids. But I tend to find that people, when you are truly in a place of peace, where you desire and seek peace with people, that people purposely do things to elicit a negative response from you. Like I was sitting the other day and I was thinking about when I was, I don't know, I might have been 13. Was I 13 years old? Probably 13. And I remember at that time we were being bused to school. So all of the children that lived in La Quinta, California, they were bused to school. And La Quinta at that time was like, it still is a very nice neighborhood. I mean, a very nice neighborhood. But look, I got to talking and I lost my train of thought. I don't know why that happened. And probably because as I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking through the window and all I see are beautiful trees, the mountain. I can see the sky and the clouds. I can see the sun shining. And as I was reminiscing, trying to share that story of growing up, I just got distracted with the view because it's so beautiful. It's something about green trees, it's something about nature that's beautiful to me. But anyway, let me get back to the story. I remember being a young girl at that time. Majority, a lot of my friends, they were not black. In California, there are not many black people in California to begin with. And we all got along so well. And so I remember thinking like there was racism, but you really didn't realize it or recognize it. But I do recall saying that when I'm grown, there won't be such a thing as racism because we all get along. You know what I'm saying? Like I have friends of every race. They seem to like me. They invite me over to their home. And I remember as an adult the same thing was true. um I had friends of every race. I remember my eldest daughter, she was even a flower girl at one of my coworkers' wedding, and she is Mexican. And my daughter was the flower girl. So I always thought that there would be an end to racism, discrimination, hatred. And now here I am at 54, and that's not the case. You know, people promote inclusiveness, inclusivity. That's what they say. Inclusivity. Everyone is welcome. But a Black woman that's intelligent, embodies integrity and kindness, and has a belief in a value or moral system that's different than others is not included. We are oftentimes devalued, mistreated, disrespected. Our concerns, our worries, our fears, even when we verbalize it and speak it out, people minimize what we say and what we feel. Independent thinking and individuality. And let me expound on that. I don't fit into one mold. And people have been indoctrinated such that they have these preconceived notions or stereotypes of what you are and who you are. For example, the fact that I say I believe that there is a God, I'm a child of God, and I believe that me and every child that was carried in my womb and birthed through me, and every child that is carried and birthed through the womb of a child that was birthed from my womb is a child of God and covered in the blood of Jesus. Because I say those things, somehow I'm labeled a Bible thumper, or I'm labeled as being homophobic, or insensitive to the LGBTQIA community. When I've never said that, I've never done that. I've always shared what I believe and what my values are. I'm an individual, so I have the right to feel and think the way that I do, but I don't force or place my beliefs or opinion on anyone else. We all have a choice to make, and we decide whether we're good, whether we're bad, whether we're for peace or chaos, whether we are filled with kindness or we are filled with wickedness. We all have a choice. I'm not a person that's with groupthink or herd behavior where because I like what you say or I like how you look or I like what you have, that I'm easily swayed and I will follow what you do and what you say. I am an independent thinker and an individual, so I'm going to follow what I believe in. Earlier, I was going to say, frugal. And sometimes people have various misconceptions of what it means to be frugal. So I'll just put it like this: I'm not a person that's easily influenced or swayed by monetary things. I don't know, it's something about my mind, and I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not. I know society would consider me to be an oddity because I don't think how other people think. I will not just easily agree to something that you told me if you don't have any proof to confirm or support what you've told me. I don't do that. So I know I'm not alone. I know there are other people out there like me. Oftentimes when people talk to me, they try to pre-feed opinions and emotions to me as if somehow, like when they're talking to me, not one time have I said I'm angry, I'm upset or anything, but when they talk to me as if I am. Sometimes when I'm talking and I I try to see where the other person is coming from. So I like for them to explain what it, exactly how did they derive the opinion they came to. Sometimes I even, I may talk to my daughter. My daughter is so sensible and reasonable that although she loves me and she supports me, if I share a scenario with her, if I'm wrong in it, it's she will tell me. And she oftentimes she can see both sides of an issue and she can say, well, hey mom, now this is, something to consider. And I appreciate that about her. It makes me so proud because I'm like, yeah, that's my child. She got some, logical thinking, reasonable thinking. Am I asking too much? I find that people get upset when you refuse to raise your voice at them or you refuse to argue back with them. And people just want me to shut up. They don't want me questioning stuff that's irrational. It's irrational. If something is irrational, disorganized, and it doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask a question. But people don't want me asking a question. I'm not asking too many questions. I'm just not blindly leading you. I'm just not blindly following you. I won't do that. And I will not support or reinforce negative stereotypes that people have about Black women in the Black community. Because we are not what you see on television or what you see on social media. Black women come in a variety of shades, colors, shapes, sizes, mindset, characteristics, behaviors, and attitudes. People need to start treating us individually instead of painting us all with one brush. Have you ever found that Black women are the most caring, nurturing, will come to the aid, defense, and protection of any and everyone? Well, I won't say all Black women. There are some Black women, because some of you Black women, you're worse than a man. You will tear down and beat on a woman quicker than a man will. There are a lot of you women, and I don't want to just place this on Black women's shoulder, but there is a segment of women that lack camaraderie, that lack compassion, that lack empathy for women. Not only do they lack that for another woman, they lack that for children, and especially disabled children. With that being said, I'm going to bring reality television into this right now for a moment because there's a show in particular that a lot of people that come over here to my channel and listen to my videos, a lot of you watch what reality television, what I call trauma vision. So this season, on season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, we have Shemia Morton Wenge. She's on this season and she has a child with special needs that has had multiple surgeries. And I have heard some people here on the YouTube streets, of course, they're hidden behind avatars, so you don't know who is whom. And there are some content creators that have even support dialogue and language that is demeaning towards children on their platform. I'm not going to call them out. I just chose not to go back over to their channel. But let me come back to the show. And the reason why I want to mention Shemia and her child is because there are a lot of women in the world that has a child, that may have a child or have a child that has special needs. So some of those women do have compassion and empathy when they see another mother with a child. But then there are some that do not. There are also men that could care less. There are people that that do not value children and people that are disabled or handicapped. They place no value in them. It's they would rather have out of sight, out of mind to pretend as if that child is of unimportance. So don't make the mistake to think just because someone's a parent of a child with special needs that they love them. Oftentimes they don't. That same auntie that might uh, donate her time or work for a shelter for women that experience domestic violence is oftentimes that very same woman that dislikes and hates her disabled nephew. That man that you see that you think is so distinguished and loved in the community may be the father of a child that's disabled, and he dislikes that child. So as we get older, we go through various stages in life. We have various experiences, and I believe everything's a test, so you can have a testimony. It's your story to share. It's your story to share. People may say negative things about you, try to tarnish your image, your character. That should be of no importance to you. If you get to a place where you could care less what anyone thinks about you, you'll be all right and you'll feel that you are at peace. People wished that their opinion of me mattered to where it would have some effect on me. I can honestly say in the past that was true, but it's not true today. It's not true today. I know I heard some people talking about what were they saying? You hear people they put a value on monetary things, clothing, house, car. And I heard people saying Shemia is rich. You know, people love idolizing rich people, wealthy people. They said she's rich, she's a multimillionaire, she can go hire her a stylist. Why should she hire a stylist if she's comfortable and happy in what she's wearing? But eventually, the longer Shemia is on television, she's going to give in and be concerned of what people think and say about her. She's going to give in to the pressure. Then she too will be going to have plastic surgery because she's concerned about people's opinion of who she is. I don't know. There's something unique about my brain. And it may not be unique. It's just that I see things clearly. Like Who is that? What was it? Was it last month? I don't know how long ago it was. It may have been a couple of weeks or it could have been a month ago, where the Asian man, guess he was on TikTok and he was at a factory over in China showing how all of these expensive fashion label houses or fashion houses were creating their products over in China. But here I am at 54. I remember hearing that same story, not seeing, but before we had social media or TikTok was around or Instagram was around or anything like that, I remember people had been long shared that a lot of the name brand shoes and clothing and things that we purchase and wear has been made over in China. We have all been indoctrinated. And when you break out of that mode of having herd behavior or this desire to be accepted or fit in, or you have to think how someone else thinks, or you have to hate how another person hates, you'll be okay. There's not one person that can get me to hate a whole group of people based off the actions of a few. I judge each person individually by how they treat me and my son, what they say and what they do. I don't treat everyone that way. To me, it's like we all, like I keep saying, we all have a choice of what decision we make in life. The same could be said of what career path we take, whether we go to college or not, whether you end up in prison or not. If you devote yourself to a life of crime, or it's decisions that we make that lead us there. My grandmother would always say, as many of you may have heard this saying in your family, what's done in the dark will come to the light. So, whatever you're doing and you have gotten away with it for years, you've gotten away of doing something that's illegal or unjust or corrupt for years. You may have done it for years, but eventually you'll have to answer for it. You all have been paying attention to the news and see some of the stories, the headlines, whether they're recent of the past or of the past. Eventually, your past will catch up to you. I always tell people, and some people, oh, you're just crazy. No, I'm not crazy. There is nothing, there is no such thing as privacy at all. Any device that you talk on, you're being recorded. These smart television, everything is being recorded. So you should not have this false illusion that you have privacy. Not at all. You don't. And because I'm aware of that, nothing surprises me at all. Nothing surprises me at all. Mm. I was thinking, I remember it's like you could have been an athlete, you could have been a nurse, you could have been in law enforcement, you could have been a prostitute, you could have been an alcoholic, you could have been a drug addict. Shoot, you probably could have been somebody first lady. So these are all different choices. Just a few examples. You could be a multi-billionaire owning multiple corporations. These are just a few examples of how choices and decisions that we make in life lead us to where we're ultimately at. I know that decisions that I made have led me to where I'm at. And every time I think that, I believe that uh, decisions are being made so that I can get from this point. It's like there's a roadblock put up to prevent me. It's like, no, we want you to stay over here. This is the type of person we want you to be. I'm not saying I'm giving in to that, but I'm quite sure there are other people out there that can relate. I do not drink. I do not do drugs. And my daughter would say, I talk too much. I'm too trusting. But I have come to the realization with things that I have been through recently, I have come to the realization that being trusting, being kind, being loyal can lead you open to be taken advantage of, to be disappointed, heartbroken. I believe those are just a few things, but the primary things that can be viewed as weakness. I'm not, I have changed. I haven't, I won't change those core values that I have, but I am limiting how trusting I am to everyone and the loyalty that I give to someone. I'm going to always be kind, but I'm going to look before I freely offer those things to people. People are manipulative and they play on your kindness, your empathy. They play on that to take advantage of you. And I think sometimes that's why it hurts so much. It hurts when you are someone that trusts people, kind. Like, I used to have this mindset, trust everyone until they give me a reason not to trust them. But I can say definitely, as of today, you have to prove that you're trustworthy. I'm not freely giving my trust to anyone. I don't care how much you smile. I don't care what you say. I need action first. And the fact that I ask questions or I won't blindly believe what anybody tells me without proof, and especially if you're telling me something that I know not to be true. Oh no, baby. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. There is somebody out there. They are telling you at work, you are the problem. You're not the problem. They're the problem. They're saying you are the problem because you won't conform and fall in to the same behavior that they display. Everybody knows it doesn't matter what career, what workplace it is. Everybody knows you have those people that will come in, work hard, exceptional employees. They don't get any recognition at work. They don't get any appreciation. If anything, hell, they work you even harder. You have the employees that are lazy that will do next to nothing, break every rule, and somehow they are celebrated, championed, protected, and allowed to keep their job. And I believe that employers purposely keep the employees that lack integrity, that half-ass do their jobs. They purposely keep those employees because they know those employees won't tell what they are doing, nor are those employees paying attention that when you are not obeying the rules. So quit thinking that you're the problem. You're not the problem. Don't raise your voice and argue with these people because that's what they want. And the minute you don't raise your voice and argue with them, it makes them angrier. They just hate it. Maintain your peace at all costs. Maintain your peace. Now, if somebody put their hands on you, or they get to moving their body like they're about to swing on you or hit you, you better defend yourself by any means necessary. See, baby, we can't forget the past nor the history, or else we are doomed to repeat it. I love to read. I would always say that. I love to read. But there's this question, who wrote the book? Who wrote the book? So believe none of what you hear, half of what you see and what you read. Because when people put this text to paper, it's with the hope of you absorbing the information in that book, memorizing it to where you can't see anything else but what they put before you on that paper. How many times do people manipulate the Bible? Yeah, I'm going to go there. How many times did they manipulate the Bible? It's sin all around us. Fornication, children outside of wedlock, abortion being promoted. Abortion is murder. Greed, gluttony. But people only want to point out one type of sin. I say let people live their lives and make their own decision. You can't go to heaven nor hell for them. That's their life. Let them make their decision. Everybody deserves to be heard. Everybody's feelings matter. Everybody deserves to be treated with some respect. The color of someone's skin does not afford them more respect nor less respect. People are people. There's only one race, the human race. You'll find people here on YouTube, on their channel. They'll say what's great about something while tearing someone else down. For example, people like to make heterosexuals the enemy instead of blaming whomever the heterosexual was that offended them. They want to paint all heterosexuals with one brush. That doesn't make any sense. Individuality. You judge people and you treat people based on what he or she has done to you or has displayed to you, not based upon what somebody has told you he or she has done. Individuality. If you stop concerning yourself with what someone else thinks about you, feel about you, you'll be better. Honey, I could care less if you like me or not. I treat you the way you treat me. Long gone are the days of where I have to dumb myself down, hide the fact that you have offended me, hurt me, in order for you to feel comfortable. Honey, relationships are reciprocal. In order for you to be comfortable, I need to feel comfortable. The same requirements that you are demanding of me, I am requiring and demanding of you. I'm not getting out here hating anybody at all. I'm minding my business. That's what a lot of y'all need to be doing, minding your business. Y'all too busy trying to mind other folks' business, what they doing, what they saying, and who they with. Just mind your business and worry about what's going on in your household and what's going on with you. And stop believing whatever everyone says about somebody. You need to see it for yourself. So when you see it or hear it for yourself and you experience, then you know, that fire is hot right there, baby. You can do it to me one time. I done learned my lesson. Uh-huh. Yep. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with nobody living an alternative lifestyle. That's their business, their life. It does not bother me the least at all. It does not. And at the same time, I need you to respect my individuality as well. If I love saying I'm a child of God, if I'm a heterosexual female, respect that. Don't make me feel uncomfortable as if I have to shy away or hide who I am. I'm not requiring or asking anybody to hide who they are and what they believe in. So don't do that to me. If you say that you promote inclusivity, that should include Black women, whether she's what, married, single, baby mama, widower, lesbian, straight, whatever. Respect my inclusivity. Respect me. Just like you require me to respect you and acknowledge your presence, do the same for the Black woman. Acknowledge us and respect our presence. Quit asking us and wanting us to come to your rescue and help you if you're not going to do the same thing for us. Quit doing that. Quit doing that. I had a very unfortunate experience yesterday, and I've been having multiple unfortunate experiences. And the most demeaning and humiliating thing in the world is to tell someone what you've experienced and to share with something that you don't feel safe, and people minimize you as a person, not just a woman, but as a person. So if I tell you I don't feel safe and you don't have a sense of urgency, or you're setting things in motion to where it makes my sense of safety feel even less, that's not being inclusive. That's not being inclusive at all. Lack of communication. No communication, that's disrespectful. Any reasonable, sensible, logical person would understand that if a person tells you they do not feel safe, and these are the things that are occurring and happening to me, and for you to ignore those things, a person can't help but come to the conclusion that you devalue them, You do not respect them, and you're unconcerned with what they've reported to you, both in writing and verbally. But you promote inclusivity. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But don't give up. Protect your peace. Darkness hates individuality and independent thinking. Formulate your own opinion based on your personal experience with someone or something. Never be a sheep and blindly follow someone because you want to fit in. You want to be part of the in crowd. You want to be accepted and for be you. What's wrong with being you? What's wrong with looking like you? Why would you want to look like someone else? Why would you want to alter your appearance to look like someone else? I know this is nothing new. This has been going on for years, even before I was born. But I'm awake now and I realize that there's a system in place to create hate for one another. And I won't participate in a system of hate when I'm about peace. Peace is a choice, power belongs to the people. Why would you just sit around and continue to complain about the same thing? You all see things that don't make sense, that injustices, what isn't right, but you don't do anything about it. That's just like being at work. Yes, you got bills to pay and a family to support. So you'll put your mind on the line, your well-being mentally, until your mind almost breaks. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Last month, it was so much going on that I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. I was not sleeping. I was awake, but I did not feel awake. I was stumbling. My balance wasn't steady. And the problem was I had been asking for months for help, and I'm just for help and explaining, and I've been ignored. And last month it came to a head. And I knew I needed help. I needed someone. I called some numbers. But after that visit, on my mind, I kept saying I can't go to a hospital because if I go to a hospital, they'll take my son. But I need help. Three lovely ladies came to visit me. Uh, I think it's called, they came to me, the Mobile Crisis Response Team. Three lovely ladies. It was two black women and a white woman that came to visit me. But prior to them getting here, this lady came that was that's affiliated with the organization that's helping me and my son. She was dismissive, she was cold, she wasn't warm, she wasn't welcoming. And immediately I started shutting down. One of the employees asked me, Belita, Is it because she's white? And I said, it has nothing to do with color. There's good and bad in everybody. I said, it's her body language, her dismissiveness. And I said, so I don't feel comfortable with her. But those three lovely women came and they assisted me. I still did not feel like myself, but at least I knew I was okay. I knew I was okay. A lady called the following day to check up on me. I went to the clinic that Monday for help, sat there and did all that talking and shared what was going on, what I was experiencing, how long I have been asking for help, only to be told, come back 2 days later. But that was quite possibly the best thing that ever happened, because that reinforced and let me know there is nobody here to help or protect the Black woman. Honey, we got to protect ourselves. There is no one here to help me. I have to help myself. Greed and corruption is a hell of a drug. But as soon as people realize that there are systems in place for people to take advantage of financial resources from the county, the federal government, there are systems and everything is working the way it's supposed to work. And the Black community, you know, you'll hear some people saying the justice system is blind, it's unfair. Well, the Constitution, rules, laws, systems are all put in place and they're working exactly how they were meant to work. Homelessness is a $1 billion industry. Mental illness, $1 billion industry. Disabled, handicapped people, $1 billion industry. Look how many people, clinics, businesses, therapists, organizations, hospitals take advantage of Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Medicare, whatever, because it's about greed. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, but it's a choice. Just like I said with these company, you have good and bad in everyone, and it's a choice that people make. You can choose to do the right thing. You can choose to show your humanity. You can choose to be fair. You can choose to have compassion, exhibit kindness, treat people with respect. It's a choice. But you have people that do the opposite. But that was their choice. And that was their choice. You have some people that see that things aren't right and what's not fair, but they're afraid to speak up. Why? Because they need their job. Why? Because they have bills to pay. Why? They might be those people that live in a big home with the fancy cars and the flashy clothes, but they're dependent on that income. So they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to lose their stream of income. So they'll turn a blind eye and act as if they don't see anything. But still, you have a choice. It's hard doing the right thing. It is, because there are consequences for doing what's right. It's easy to do what's wrong. It's easy. And you'll be financially rewarded. But that's just not in me. I'm not about to lie on anybody. I'm not going to take from someone. I'm not going to steal. I refuse to do any of those things because I have integrity. I have some fears from my childhood trauma that I'm getting over, and trauma from my adulthood that I'm getting, but they still have an effect on me. But it seems like stuff where I've shared with staff or the case manager, it's like some of those fears are being amplified. And I'm recognizing that. I've always had a fear, and I'm working on it now. I don't like being surrounded by a lot of men. I don't. But I'm working on that. I don't like to see areas of filth and trash. I don't like seeing that. It does something to my mind. It makes my mind race. So it's just a lot. But there is somebody out there that may be going through some of the same thing. I can look out my window or walk out the front door. I've never seen so many homeless white people in all my life. I talked to one man one day, but why are all these white people homeless? So have we all been brainwashed? I'm being serious right now. Have we all been brainwashed to think that white people have it easy? I don't know, because I ain't never seen so many. I mean, when I tell you there are a bunch of homeless white people in this town, there are a bunch of homeless white people in this town. So why are white people homeless when there are so many systems put in place for them to succeed, excel? They don't even have to give their best. They can do the least. So how are you homeless? I can't understand that. So that's what I'm saying about my mind being different, because I stuff is it's like it's in I'm seeing things that are conflicting with beliefs or things that I have been taught for years. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. It's just so much. But you guys, we have been on here. I didn't mean to stay on here this long. Um, God, I didn't even show it. I didn't put my other background up on there. I've just been talking so long. But it's somebody out there, and I don't want you to give up. Protect your peace, because darkness hates individuality and independent thinker. You are not the problem. The problem isn't you, the problem is society. You were created to be great, lead, teach, learn, and inspire everyone you encounter. We have all been indoctrinated in some form or fashion from birth throughout life. Choices and decisions we've made are based off outside influences. Every decision that we make has a consequence, whether good or bad, and every action has a reaction. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a person that desires peace and don't derive pleasure from seeing another person hurt. Peace is a choice. I desire peace, so I seek peaceful resolutions to conflict. But I'm never afraid to go to war, and I'll protect my family by any means necessary. I want you guys to always remember, never stop asking questions if something doesn't make sense to you. If it's not logical, it doesn't seem sensible nor reasonable, ask a question. Stop taking medication that's prescribed to you and you're not asking questions. Stop going to your doctor's appointments without having your questions written down on a paper that you can remember. Because, you'll get up in the doctor's office, and so many in my community, in the Black community, I cannot speak for any other community because I haven't lived your life experience. But I know so many in the Black community, we have this thing where we respect titles, roles and titles. And when we get into the doctor's office, you don't want to ask any questions because you know the doctor is short on time. Oh, because the doctor will let you know when they get up in there. The doctor is, honey, let me tell you something. The doctor is only trying to stay up in that room with you for 15 minutes, 30 minutes tops. They're going to let you know they got other people to see. You see what I'm saying? Never stop asking questions if something doesn't make sense to you. Don't believe anything told to you without proof. Never be afraid to march to a beat of your own drum. Don't be afraid to be alone. And do your research. Stop taking this medicine and you don't know what you're taking that medicine for. And never forget history, because if you do, you're doomed to repeat it. I bet everything that I'm saying today has been said before by someone else. It may not be exactly in the same format that I have put it, or with the same verbiage that I am using, but I'm pretty sure, I bet there was somebody that gave this advice before some years earlier, and everyone has ignored it. They put the truth right there in your face, and if you choose to ignore it, that's on you. People in power hate individuals who ask questions, formulate their own opinion, promote kindness, and embody integrity. Because if you're walking around being kind to everyone you encounter, it's something about kindness. It makes that a person that's receiving the act of kindness, it's infectious. It inspires them to be kind to someone else. People that lack integrity or people that are corrupt and evil and wicked, they hate a person with integrity, because if you have integrity, you're not malleable. Your mind is not malleable. Your emotions may be, but your mind is not malleable because something in you is saying that's not right and I'm not going to do that. Yes. So don't give up. Thank you, Lodge. Great advice as usual. Great commentary. Thank you. Facts, questions lead to knowledge. That's right. So when they tell you, oh, well, just read the paper. Yeah, I'm going to read the paper, but I'm going to still ask you this question because I want to see what you say, if it's going to be supported on this paper that I read. And y'all stop signing, giving out your electronic signature when you go to the doctor's office when they're telling you you're signing a consent form. Well, I need to see the hard copy. I need to know exactly what I'm signing. Because y'all know research doesn't stop. They still research on folks with medicines, new surgery techniques, cancer discoveries, treatments to treat cancer. They still do research. And oftentimes, people that are used as research subject, y'all really think they just testing on mice, rats, monkeys, and animals? They are also doing research on mammals, mammals, human mammals, that is. And the best subjects are those that don't ask questions, might be homeless, poor. They're going to do research on you. And especially if you don't know how to read, they might tell you what you're signing, you don't even know. Even if you do know how to read, they'll tell you, oh, it's consent. Consent for what? Show me on paper exactly what I'm signing consent for. 'Cause I ain't finna be waking up, be locked up in somebody's institution where y'all done experiment and took my organs. They coming up in the hospital getting blood from y'all at least 3 times a day while you up in the hospital. Or telling you you have access to your medical record, and then when you sign in to log in to my chart to look at your child's medical records and lab results, you can't see nothing but upcoming doctor's appointment. They don't even have listed the past appointments he had. You can't even see his after visit summary. Some shit is fishy. Something's fishy about that. Stop clicking on links that folks send to y'all cell phones. Hey, Kishori's Kitchen, you all right? Stop clicking on links folks send to y'all cell phone. I be laughing because I get stuff out the blue. Any other time, all of these specialists that want to see my son, they're scheduling appointments 2-3 months out the way. Nothing right now, but all of a sudden, he gets an appointment for next day. I get a telephone call that they can schedule him for audiology appointment. First, the lady tells me the appointment will be in July. She tells me to hold on, but she forgot to mute the mic. The lady forgot to mute the mic. Then she gets on the phone and say, we can see him tomorrow. That's odd. It's a lot of odd stuff that happens. I see the different vehicles that come in and out here to this shelter. I saw a van here probably 2 weeks ago with men at the end near the playground. I asked a staff member, what are they doing? He said, you notice everything. They're putting up a gate because there's an opening there by the playground and they don't want the kids to fall down the hill. Y'all, how come that gate ain't put up? So what were those men here for? How is it that my child is supposed to be on a gluten-free diet and he's not afforded a gluten-free diet? However, I know the county and the federal government provides funding, and with someone having a specialized diet, there's no restriction on providing that. Why is it if I ask what resources are available or exactly what are the steps to help me, to assist me in becoming self-sufficient? Why is it that no one can ever give instructions or details or anything? They ignore. So I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know, but I know I won't be quiet anymore. You are meant to be great, to lead, to teach, and to learn and inspire everyone around you. There is only one race, the human race. And even when others choose to devalue you or make you feel less than, you are not less than. You are just as important as anyone. So back to these books. I love reading books, but somebody wrote them. Yes, Lodge, I'm asking, and sometimes I just feel like I don't know. I really feel like with some of the things that are happening, um, I definitely, it makes me come to the conclusion that things are purposely being done to elicit a negative response out of me. And that woman calling me a bitch last week, they incorrectly assumed that by her posturing and calling me a bitch as if she was going to hit me, like that would have me respond in a negative fashion because it would justify things that are being done. I'm tired of this, man. It's life though. It's life. It's life. It's life. But it doesn't mean we have to continue to accept it. It's somebody out there that needs to hear it so you can navigate systems and processes. So make no mistake, there is a system in place. Yes, son, it sure is. There is a system in place. Parents think just because your child has an IEP that they're going to ensure that everything that your child is entitled to, that they're going to make it available. That's not true. You have regional centers. It doesn't matter what state. The game is the same in every state, you guys. The game is the same in every state. So y'all don't have to worry. Medi-Cal, Medicaid, Medicare will never be cut off. No matter how many times you hear a story in media, on the news, about there being a shortage of funds, or they need to balance the budget, they're going to make cuts. Baby, they're not getting rid of none of that. They're not getting rid of that. There are too many systems in place for people to manipulate the system to make money. Medicaid, Medi-Cal, Medicare is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Some would say $1 trillion. I would say. And greedy folks, immoral folks have their hands out. That's like the poison apple. Remember they said Eve took a bite of the poison apple, the forbidden apple, the forbidden apple, the forbidden fruit. My apologies. But money is the forbidden fruit. And once you start accepting money and obtaining it by illegal means, taking it from someone, committing fraud, manipulation, theft, you've accepted the forbidden fruit. And you might get away with your deception and corruption for years. But eventually, baby, you're going to have to pay up, because you either going to play the game or face the pain. Matter of fact, we can even relate this to one of the stories. Who is this? P. Diddy? P. Diddy is an example. Just one example. Just one example. He accepted that forbidden fruit, which was money. And that greed, that fascination, that desire to have it had him do. You're right, Alex. You said, just wanted to say that all of this is nonsense. Bad people get away with too much in an unfair world. Yeah, it's good to be an independent thinker, Alex Hoover. What'd you say, Miss Lodge? You said facts, fear tactics used to control the narrative. These services aren't going nowhere. More of them use and have access than any other culture. Yeah. But back to P. Diddy. Money is the forbidden fruit. Once you get addicted to having money, obtaining money, you'll do whatever it takes to have it. But eventually, when you wake up and decide that you no longer want to participate in the system or make changes, baby, if you ain't going to play ball, they going to fast track your fall. So I haven't listened to any other testimony, don't want to listen to any other testimony. I'm not taking nothing negative into my spirit, because my thing is we all have a choice. And eventually we have to pay for the choices that we make. And I'm paying for decisions that I've made. Um, it's not related to drugs. It's not related to alcohol. It's not related to death. My mental health was impacted, and I made decisions where when I face stressful situation, whether it be violence, racism, I chose to leave, and eventually it takes a toll. But anyway, don't give up, protect your peace. Darkness hates individuality and independent thinking. And they use fear to create hate amongst groups of people. But baby, that forbidden fruit is money. Then y'all get to looking at celebrities wanting the lifestyle that they're showing you. And a lot of these celebrities are living check to check. They're struggling too. Because I can't understand how anybody, if you were a simple person, a modest person, you're okay just having a home big enough for you and your family, why do you need to still be singing, on tour, acting? Poor Betty White. Y'all remember Betty White from the Golden Girls? She's been in the entertainment centuries for years. She is now passed. But that poor lady, I think she worked till she was damn near 100 years old. She was still acting, entertaining. And as soon as she retired, she died. Honey, slavery has not gone anywhere. Slavery is just reinvented. They still have slave owners. Each corporation is a plantation. These CEOs are the overseers. I know it's not funny. But when you look at people gotta work, 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 work. Then they look forward to retiring. They say they money, invest their money, and then what happens? You find out that somebody that was investing the money then embezzled it. Now all that money you didn't invest it is gone. So there go your retirement. And people that brag or try to make people feel bad that they don't have a home, have a house. Well, you skip a year paying your property taxes. You won't have your house either. So, hey y'all, don't give up. And what you say, logical? Yes, money is the root to evil. Money corrupts the mind. False sense of power comes with too much money. That's right. That's right, logical. And that's where we can end this show right there. I'm gonna put your thing right back on up. You are right. You are exactly right. Kanye tried to tell folks about slavery. Today, current, they call them crazy. That's right. And I had been holding on to that girl. Hold on just a second. I had been holding on that. I was going to do a video last year. But yeah, slavery is a choice. That's what he meant. And when people think about slavery, they think he's referring to just black people. That's everybody. It's a choice. You all are deciding to stay on that hamster wheel. I know you're afraid, but that's how they control you. But everybody has a choice. You're absolutely right. Kanye tried to tell everybody. Then they worried about Kanye West's wife. Hell, that woman ain't in danger. She is Kanye handler to keep him under control. That's all that is. Where the comments so I can unhighlight it. All right, y'all. I'm your girl, Misbehaving, and the name of the channel is Misbehaving is Fun, where I talk about real people, real problems, and real drama. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. And if you find yourself being mad at anything I had to say, baby, chances are the devil is you. Peace is a choice. Power belongs to the people, and protection is deserved to the elderly, disabled, children, and the poor. I choose peace. I desire peace, so I seek peaceful resolution to conflicts. However, I'm never afraid to go to war, and I will protect my family by any means necessary. If you're watching this video as part of the replay gang, I want to say thank you for your support. It is greatly appreciated because I'm a little blogger, but my presence felt like a big dog. Y'all have a beautiful day. Be safe in these YouTube streets. And I'll be giving some commentary again. I'll try to give y'all an advance notice, but I'm thankful and grateful for everyone that popped in and out and that hung around. Thanks, Lodge. Thanks, Kaya. Thanks, Kishori's Kitchen. Alex Hoover. Thank you for coming over. There was somebody else. But anyway, y'all have a good night. And let me go on up over here. Uh, I don't know what's going on, baby. I don't know what's going on, but I shall not be moved, okay? I shall not be moved. It is your life. Live it to the best. Live your life for you, not to impress anyone else. Therefore, you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed. All right. Good night, y'all. I'm going for real now.